the answer. This pre-recorded program is sponsored by Tandem HR.
I see my name in shining lights, yeah, a different city every night. Oh, I swear the world better prepare for when I'm a billionaire.
It's time to get down to business on the weekend's #1 business program. Known as the King of Networking, your host, Shalom Klein, has worked with thousands of entrepreneurs and created countless jobs. So, to success. Let's get down to business.
We are all about small business jobs and entrepreneurship and business. We talk a lot about business here. You're on with Get Down to Business, and I'm your host, Shalom Klein. Remember, you can always download podcasts from Get Down to Business on my website at shalomklein.com. While you are there, don't forget to follow me on Twitter at Shalom Klein. It's going to be a jam-packed week of content and information you will not want to miss. You can, once again, contact me through my website, shalomklein.com. Would love to hear what you think about the program. First up on the air is a fantastic entrepreneur with a very, very impressive background who is giving back to community. I'm thrilled to be joined by Bruce Taylor, the founder of the Next Level Exchange. Bruce, welcome to the program.
Thank you. It's my pleasure to be here.
It's great to have you. Bruce, let's start with you because I love to make sure our listeners can get to know the person behind the microphone. Bruce, you have a very, very, very impressive, call it a resume, because I know you deal with a lot of resumes with folks, but very impressive background, primarily in the world of finance and banking. If you don't mind, can you share with our listeners a little bit about the past couple of decades of your life?
Sure, I'd be happy to. I was a third generation member of my family in the banking business. The company grew and became known as Cole Taylor Bank. And back in 2014, we merged our bank with MB Financial Bank. Our principal business was banking family-owned and owner-operated businesses in the Chicago area. A lot of small and mid-sized businesses. And interestingly, many of those small businesses became very large businesses over the more than 8 decades that our family was in business, in the banking business.
Absolutely. And I know that, as you said, family was certainly a key part of this. You made your customers your family, and that's the beauty of small banks, and certainly is an interesting time for the world of banks. We'll leave that for another conversation. Post leaving the banking and finance world, you, instead of going the classic route of consulting and making money, you actually decided to give back to community. And now is such a critical time in the world of entrepreneurship and the world of small business. That's why this conversation is so timely. You founded the Next Level Exchange program. Bruce, do you mind telling us sort of a brief synopsis of what Next Level Exchange is and really why you got into it?
Sure. And I want to give credit where credit is due. I was one of the co-founders. Rarely does anything happen all by one person's efforts. But it was really my effort in 2014 when I left my full-time banking career to find a way to meaningfully give back. Been very fortunate in terms of the opportunity that I had. And certainly we had a lot of ups and downs in our company over the course of my almost 40 years with the business. But also being a lifelong Chicagoan, love the city. I don't love the winters in Chicago. People call me crazy, but I love Chicago all 12 months out of the year, and looking for a creative, meaningful way for me to give back to the city, to other entrepreneurs and businesses, and also especially those that didn't necessarily come from communities with a lot of resources, diverse communities, and networking for about one to 2 years with various organizations. Had a meeting with the then head of the entrepreneurship program at the Chicago Urban League, who mentioned to me that one of the things that she hadn't been able to accomplish in her program was establishing a mentorship program for many of the small businesses that they were working with, clients of the Urban League, principally a very diverse diverse group of owners and small business people.
And in a nutshell, what you are doing, it's an entrepreneur support program that's complementing the efforts being done by many fantastic community-based organizations to really create economic opportunity throughout all of Chicago and Chicagoland, really. which I know you love so dearly. So it's a partnership, and all of the mentees are vetted. Tell us a little bit about the numbers of folks that have come through the program so far, and really, if you don't mind, share perhaps one of the success stories, one of many, I'm sure.
Yeah, well, as our program has grown, and one of my thoughts was not to create another organization, but to add to the work that was being done by organizations who were serving a diverse group of business owners. And today, the collaborative partnership, it not only includes the Chicago Urban League, but also Sunshine Enterprises. They're located in Woodlawn, as well as the Women's Business Development Center. So this was a pilot that we launched with our first cohort group of mentors and mentees, establishing an intimate year-long mentoring relationship between an experienced business executive or owner with somebody much earlier on in their career. And today we have just launched our seventh cohort, our seventh group of mentors and mentees. We've basically established mentor relationships with almost 100 business owners over the last 3 years, with approximately 70 different business executives and business owners who have served as mentors.
And my understanding is that there's really three components or tenets of the program, really structure being around mentorship. But I understand there's mentorship, business education, and fireside chats. Let's talk about the mentorship piece for a second, because I know as an entrepreneur in the world of banking and finance, I know you certainly have been a mentor to many. How are you attracting like-minded business people that want to give back to the program to commit of their time? And what has that experience been sort of on both sides of the table?
Well, it's been actually one of the easiest sales I've had to make in my life. There seems to be a strong interest for people in the business community to give back in a very meaningful way. We've all made financial contributions, but here's an opportunity for somebody who's been in business in Chicago. And by the way, our mentors range in age from their 30s to their 70s. So it's a big range, it's a very diverse group. But there is a strong desire to give back in that unique way that we can, based on our experiences as people who've been in business in Chicago for a number of years, who have learned a lot of lessons from either mistakes they've made and or successes that they've experienced, the skills that they've gained along the way, as well as sharing their social capital in terms of the relationships they have throughout the business community, whether it's potential customers of our business, resources, or even peers who are further developed in terms of a similar business that they're running, but the opportunity to make connections with these entrepreneurs who are clients of the organizations with more experienced business executives has been an easy sell and something that's been very meaningful.
Absolutely meaningful and rewarding. And I have to ask, how has the current situation, how have you had to adapt in terms of, I know you're moving full steam ahead. Have you had to set up a premium account on Zoom and a lot of those mentorship opportunities happening virtually?
Absolutely. I think that many of the mentors and mentees are meeting on Zoom. I think we're all going to come out of this period of time much more technology savvy than we went into this time. I'm meeting with mentees that I'm working with on Zoom, and it's a very effective way to do this. And it's always better face to face, but given that that's not possible right now, the technology platform is great. We're actually having a workshop at the end of April on the 30th, talking about marketing and branding strategy for the small business, especially in light of the period of time we're going through. And that is going to be a virtual workshop, and we hope to have good 20, 30 people who are participating.
Well, full steam ahead. And I know your mentors and your business education, the fireside chats, you promote adapting and innovation, and you guys have certainly adapted and innovated as well. I've been chatting with Bruce Taylor from the Next Level Exchange program. an amazing 12-month intensive small business development program, adapting during this age of coronavirus. Bruce, I've got less than a minute remaining. I want to make sure our listeners know when the next cohort is being established and how they can get in touch with you to learn more.
Okay, so the next cohort, we will begin taking applications actually now. We plan to launch in June. And for more information, they can go to nextlevelexchange.org on the internet. That's the organization's website where they can find more information about the program, as well as the application to apply to be a mentee or a mentor, depending on their circumstance.
That's fantastic. Nextlevelexchange.org. And that's where you can find out on the mentor-mentee side. Amazing, amazing work. Thank you for all that you're doing for Chicagoland's small business community and entrepreneurial scene. Bruce Taylor, thanks for joining us on the nextlevelexchange.org. We are all about small business, jobs, and entrepreneurship. We're going to be back in just a moment. Chicago, don't touch that dial. You're listening to Get Down to Business. We'll be right back.